After 4 years of dating in college, Suhe devoted himself wholeheartedly to his girlfriend and worked tirelessly. Finally, on the day of graduation, Suhe proposed to his girlfriend Liu Wanru in front of her whole family. Liu Wanru. I'm sorry Suhe, we're not compatible. I don't love you, let's break up. Just as Suhe's face was filled with astonishment, his girlfriend's biological sister Liu Wanrong suddenly stood up. Suhe, I love you and I want to marry you. Are you willing to marry me? Facing the more mature, intellectual, gentle, and beautiful sister.in-law Liu Wanrong, Suhe did not refuse. On that day, the two walked into the marriage registration center. Seeing Suhe and his sister getting married, Liu Wanru, who refused Suhe's confession, caught up with her. Suhe, why are you marrying my sister? Suhe, I used to love you. Suhe, I was wrong. Shall we be together again? I accept your proposal. Suhe hugged his chest with both hands and sneered, you refuse to propose. Now that I'm married, why are you crying? Chapter 1. Let's break up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suhe, I'm sorry, let's break up. Shanghai University. At the entrance of the lecture hall. Suhe stared blankly at the scene before him, for a moment without realizing it. He was very familiar with the scene before him, and to be certain, he had experienced it once. He was reborn. The woman in front of her is called Liu Wanru, her girlfriend of 4 years from Suhe University. Today is the day when Suhe and Liu Wanru graduate. At the same time, it is also a commemorative day for the two of them to be together for 4 years. It can be said that double happiness is upon us. Suhe originally planned to propose to Liu Wanru on this day, and also specially invited his future parents-in-law and Liu Wanru's biological sister to attend the graduation ceremony. Just now, he has already proposed. Who would have thought that my girlfriend refused without hesitation? In his past life, Suhe was devastated after breaking up with his girlfriend. Repeatedly making mistakes at work, being framed by superiors, losing a large amount of money, and losing work. Later, the superior leaders also married Liu Wanru. Suhe drank too much alcohol at the wedding and didn't pay attention to the vehicles when crossing the road, resulting in being crushed to death by a dump truck. At the moment of death, Suhe's past memories flashed through his mind like slides. He suddenly realized that he was wrong. Not only did I make a mistake in giving to Liu Wanru, but also because of my own downfall, I hurt those who love him. Who would have thought that after opening their eyes, they would return to the day of proposing? The proposal was also rejected, but at this point, Suhe's mentality was completely different. Wanru, what are you talking nonsense about? The daughter's words immediately made the father Liu Tiancheng's eyebrows furrow tightly, and he immediately spoke out and scolded. Are you getting your head down? How could you say such nonsense about breaking up? Liu Tiancheng didn't want to believe that his own daughter would refuse Suhe's proposal. A boy like Suhe is so excellent that he can't even find a place to hold a lantern. Any normal person would not refuse Suhe's proposal. Liu Tiancheng couldn't understand why his daughter refused Suhe. Is it difficult? Did your daughter cheat? Thinking of this, Liu Tiancheng's face also turned black. If it were due to moral issues, Liu Tiancheng would never agree. He has already regarded Suhe as his son-in-law and absolutely does not allow anyone to harm his son-in-law, even his own daughter. Wanru. Do you deserve Suhe's efforts over the years by doing this? Not just money, how much effort did he put in for you? Take a look at what you're wearing, which one didn't come from Suhe's takeout run? Have you ever thought about how to repay Suhe for the hard work and youth he put in for you when you said you would break up? Liu Tiancheng wanted to wake up this ignorant daughter. As parents, we must not watch two children go their separate ways like this. Ultimately, it is also their Liu family that owes Suhe. If it's just a debt, just repay it. The problem is, besides money, there is also emotion. The most difficult debt in the world to repay is the debt of love. There is a reason why Liu Tiancheng likes Su River. Their purpose of coming here today is, on the one hand, to celebrate their eldest daughter's graduation. On the other hand, it's also here to cheer Suhe up. Unlike other parents-in-law, Liu Wanru's father Liu Tiancheng and mother Baiyu were 100% satisfied with Suhe. Although Suhe's family background is average, his character can truly be described by Gao Shang. Liu Tiancheng was originally a construction worker on a construction site, and his income was also commendable. Earning tens of thousands of yuan a month is not a lot, but it can also barely ensure that the two daughters have no worries about food and clothing. But when Liu Wanru was a freshman, he accidentally fell off the construction site. Although he did not cause any significant harm, he suffered from 100 days of muscle and bone injuries and lay in bed for 3 months. After learning about this matter, Suhe took the initiative to take care of his future father.in-law, defecating and urinating in front of the bed. That's really putting the literal words of serving tea, passing water, feces, and urine into practice. In this era where interests are paramount, even a biological son may not be able to achieve this level, but Suhe did. After Liu Tiancheng's accident, although he also received some compensation, the compensation was too small. Liu Tiancheng's family has 2 daughters who are currently in school. At that time, the eldest daughter, Liu Wanru, was in her freshman year. My youngest daughter, Liu Wanrong, is only a third-year high school student and is about to take the college entrance examination. After paying the medical expenses, there was not much compensation left for Liu Tiancheng. As for Baiyu, when her 2 daughters were in kindergarten, they were unemployed at home due to health reasons. Due to Liu Tiancheng's accident, the originally comfortable family pressure suddenly increased dramatically. Just when Liu Tiancheng thought his 2 daughters would suffer due to economic issues, Suhe once again took the initiative to step forward. He not only supported himself, but also his sister.in-law and girlfriend by working part-time on campus and delivering takeout. Allow them to fully devote themselves to their studies without worrying about their livelihoods. After these 2 incidents, Liu Tiancheng and his wife completely recognized Suhe and treated him as their own son.in-law. So, upon learning that their son.in-law was going to propose on graduation day, the 2 of them happily went to cheer for him. Who would have thought that my daughter not only refused, but also broke up with Suhe? This made it difficult for Liu Tiancheng to accept for a while. Dad, don't force me anymore. This is my own business, I don't want you to meddle. Liu Wanru shook her head vigorously. She broke up with Suhe, which was actually very sad. However, Suhe is just an ordinary person, even if he graduates from a prestigious school. He is just a 9-to-5 worker. Being with him, Liu Wanru felt like she could see her head at a glance. This is not the life she wants. So, we must break up. You. Liu Tiancheng stretched out his calloused right hand, wanting to wake up his daughter with a fierce fanfare. However, seeing her daughter's pear blossom with rain, the hand she lifted was ultimately unable to fall. Injustice. It's really injustice. Liu Tiancheng sighed repeatedly. Uncle, there's no need to say it. Suhe waved his hand at Liu Tiancheng and gave a bitter smile. Wanru, I respect your decision. Indeed, I can't give you the happiness you want. Let's break up. Revive once again, Suhe can now face everything calmly. Having gone through life and death, is there anything else that cannot be let go? After saying these words, Suhe casually closed the proposal ring. He didn't throw it away, but solemnly put it away. This ring cost him over 20,000 yuan, which he had worked hard to save up during his 4 years of college going out to sell. Even if you don't need it anymore, you can take it back to the gold shop to exchange for some money. Isn't it too regrettable to just lose it like this? In his past life, Suhe kept the ring and waited for Liu Wanru to change her mind. But he didn't wait to come back until he died. In this lifetime, let the money exchanged for this ring become the first bucket of gold for Suhe's progress. Sorry, Suhe. Liu Wanru lowered her head and 2 lines of clear tears slowly dripped down her cheeks, evaporating instantly and disappearing without a trace. I don't have to say I'm sorry, I can only say it was meant to be. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Suhe waved his hand gracefully, and after saying these words, he turned around and was about to leave. Little River. Liu Tiancheng still wanted to stay in Suhe for a meal, but when it came to his mouth, he still didn't say anything. Today's luncheon was originally intended to celebrate the graduation of our eldest daughter and also to celebrate Suhe's successful proposal. But in this situation, where can we still eat this meal? Just as Suhe turned around and was about to leave, a sweet voice rang out. Brother Suhe, wait. I have something else to say. Suhe turned his head and saw his sister-in-law, Liu Wanrong, who had been silent all along, staring at him with a smile on her face. Liu Wanrong was wearing a JK uniform, and her white shirt couldn't conceal her proud figure. He is 1.7 meters tall and has a pair of slender long legs. A pair of black stockings wrapped around the legs make the long legs appear even more straight. A head of shiny black waist-length hair, with large waves and curls permed, wearing a beige plaid headband, charming yet pure and cute. Her skin is like condensed fat, her shoulders are like shaved, her figure is tall, her body is enchanting, her smile is beautiful, and her eyes are looking forward to her. More perfect and outstanding than my sister. Wanrong's sister, do you have anything else to do? Suhe asked subconsciously. Over the years, Suhe has long regarded Liu Wanrong as his younger sister, and their relationship is also very good. Brother Suhe, oh no, Suhe. Liu Wanrong changed her previous mischievous demeanor and her expression became more serious. Suhe, if I were willing to marry you, would you be willing to marry me? Chapter 2. Are you willing to marry me? You are listening at novel.audio. Liu Wanrong's words exploded like thunder on the flat ground in Suhe's mind. Sure enough, even if he were reborn, history would not change. In her past life, after seeing her sister break up with Suhe, Liu Wanrong immediately stood up and confessed to Suhe. However, at that time, Suhe was disheartened and focused all his attention on Liu Wanru. How could he consider a better Liu Wanrong? After being reborn, Suhe realized that this girl was the one who had been silently dedicating herself. Back then, when Suhe got drunk, the rental house was in a mess, and every time it was Liu Wanrong who came to clean it up. Cooking for him, doing his laundry, and carrying him back from the bar. This is really not easy for a weak woman. When Suhe was on the brink of death in a car accident, he could still vaguely hear the girl's heart-wrenching cries. I believe the saddest thing about Suhe's death, besides his mother, was this girl. Wanrong. Are you crazy? That's my boyfriend. Liu Wanru, standing beside her, broke through her defense and looked at her only sister with an incredulous expression on her face. She didn't expect that as soon as she broke up with Suhe, her younger sister cut off her beard. Jipon Xia, isn't it used like this? Although Liu Wanru has made up her mind to break up with Suhe, she is also mentally prepared that Suhe will have a new girlfriend in the future. However, if this new girlfriend is her own younger sister, she still cannot accept it. Sister, didn't you break up with Suhe? Since we broke up, he's not your boyfriend anymore. You don't like Suhe, but I do. I'm willing to be with him. No matter poverty or wealth, no matter disease or health. Liu Wanrong's tone was very firm. For the sake of her love and the dignity of the person she loved, she had to stand up. Liu Wanrong's words instantly closed her mouth. Yes, she has already broken up with Suhe. Since she broke up, what right does she have to stop her sister from being with Suhe? Sister, can I ask you again, are you really going to break up with Suhe? Liu Wanrong looked at her sister seriously and confirmed once again. Wanrong, don't be impulsive, Suhe can't give you happiness. Liu Wanru let out a bitter smile. She actually didn't know if she was really concerned about her sister's happiness when she said these words, or if she felt unwilling to let her sister marry Suhe. Maybe there are all of them. Sister, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Even if we were to have a meal with Suhe, I would be willing. Liu Wanrong gave a sweet smile, then turned her head to Suhe and once again asked her soul. Suhe, I want to marry you. Are you willing to marry me? Ding. It has been detected that the host has been proposed by a soul partner, and the partner's consumption cashback system has started binding. Please ask the host to choose whether to accept Liu Wanrong's proposal. Yes. Binding the system will lead the host to embark on a happy and fulfilling life, reaching the pinnacle of life. No. The system will permanently disappear, and the host will continue to be a qualified licking dog. Please host carefully choose. System. Suhe never expected that at such a critical moment, the essential system for rebirth would jump out. Suhe is not unfamiliar with the system. As an old bookworm who has been reading for decades, I have seen all kinds of conventional systems. The system is as powerful as the author's imagination. Suhe was surprised that one day the system would fall on his head. What's the difference between this and the sky-dropping pies? The spendthrift author has finally returned to human resources. However, they have all been reborn, and without the system, being a reborn person would be too low. Grade. Refusing Liu Wanrong's confession. That's something that only brainless people can do. Even pigs know how to choose between being able to bind to the system and marrying a fair-skinned, beautiful, and long-legged sister. In law. Suhe has feelings for Liu Wanrong. However, in the past, he only treated Liu Wanrong as a sister. In law, and more importantly, it was the love of family. But now, a change is not impossible. This kind of girl has already been missed once. If she misses again, I'm afraid the heavens won't be able to keep up with her. As for love. A man chases a woman across a mountain, and a woman chases a man across a vale. You can fall in love with such a beautiful, lively, and gentle girl in just an instant. Thinking of this, Suhe immediately made a decision. Liu Wanrong saw that Suhe had been silent for a long time, thinking that she had been rejected, and a bitter smile unconsciously appeared on the corner of her mouth. Suhe, it seems that I was too abrupt. Even if I wanted to confess, I shouldn't have chosen this time. However, I won't give up. Today, even if I disturb you. At this point, Liu Wanrong's eyes also turned red. However, despite being strong from a young age, she still sucked her nose hard and held back from letting tears fall. In order not to be seen by the person she deeply loves, Liu Wanrong quickly turned around and was about to leave. The weather today is a bit gloomy, and I don't know if it's because the heavens are heartbroken about Suhe being dumped, or if it's because they're heartbroken about Liu Wanrong being rejected. Just as Liu Wanrong thought it was impossible to leave, a warm and powerful hand grabbed her arm. Wanrong, I am willing to marry you. Suhe had a warm smile on his face and looked gently at Liu Wanrong. Ah! Suhe, are you telling the truth? Liu Wanrong was slightly stunned. She was not sure if she had heard it wrong and wanted to confirm again, but she was afraid of getting a negative answer. At this moment, Liu Wanrong was not to mention how conflicted she was. Her slender and tender hands kept tugging at the hem of her shirt, as if only by pinching it to pieces could she ease her inner turmoil. Of course it's true. Wanrong, I'm willing to marry you. After Suhe finished speaking, he directly grasped Liu Wanrong's weak and boneless little hand. Wanrong, I'm sorry I didn't prepare a diamond ring for you. But I assure you that in the future, I will prepare a bigger and better ring for you. Suhe's tone is very firm. He will make up for everything he doesn't have now in the future. As for the already used proposal diamond ring in hand, it is not suitable for a girl as good as Liu Wanrong. I'm waiting for your diamond ring. Liu Wanrong gave a sweet smile. Suhe's hands are large and warm, making people feel very at ease. I swear. Suhe raised his finger to the sky and said solemnly. Ding. Congratulations to the host, the double cashback system has been successfully bound. The host only needs to spend money on their soulmate to receive 1 to 10 times the random spending cashback. The clear and pleasant sound of the system echoed in Suhe's mind. However, Suhe ignored the system prompts. In his eyes, there was only Liu Wanrong in front of him. Even without a system, he would choose to accept Liu Wanrong for being so devoted to his beauty. Never let such a good girl suffer for 2 lifetimes. Chapter 3. Little Sweetheart Becomes Cow Lady. You are listening at novel.full.audio. You, how could you do this? Liu Wanru's face was filled with astonishment, and she finally realized it. The direction of the matter far exceeded her expectations. Originally, she had a glimmer of hope that her younger sister was deliberately using provocative tactics to make her turn around. But now, it seems that this is not a method of provocation. Clearly, it's just fishing in troubled waters. Why can't we do this? Liu Wanrong gave a faint smile. Sister, but you gave up on Suhe with your own hands. Since you have already given up on Su River, why can't I take over? I love Suhe. During the months when my father was hospitalized due to illness, Suhe rode his bike to school every night to pick me up from school. From the day I sat on the back seat of Suhe's bicycle on the first day, I fell hopelessly in love with him. My love for Suhe has never been less than you, even more than you. At least, I won't give up on brother Suhe for the sake of the so-called future, the so-called glory, wealth, and status. Liu Wanrong's words directly silenced her sister Liu Wanru. Liu Wanru didn't expect that in the depths of her sister's heart, such a deep secret had always been hidden. Perhaps if she keeps walking with Suhe, this invisible secret will always be hidden deep in her sister's heart. However, now she has given up on Suhe without hesitation for an unseen future. The secret buried deep within my sister was also revealed. Public secrets are no longer secrets. Suhe, are you serious? My sister is still young and can be impulsive. You shouldn't be so impulsive too. Liu Wanru, seeing that she couldn't speak to her younger sister, could only turn her gaze to Suhe. If you're just trying to stimulate me and make me feel uncomfortable, I would never agree to you being with my sister. I don't allow anyone to harm my sister. Liu Wanru's tone was resolute, stating that she believed everything was for her sister's sake. Hehe, don't worry. I will never let Wanrong suffer any injustice. Have you ever seen me make you feel wronged after all these years? Suhe asked a rhetorical question and then continued. Also, we have already broken up, and you don't have the right to point fingers at me, do you? You. Liu Wanru was so angry that Suhe never said anything to her before. Sure enough, new people outnumber old ones. In the past, when she was in love, she was called Xiao Xianchen. After marrying her sister.in-law, Xiao Xianchen became Mrs. Niu. Alright, sister, you don't have to say anything more. I'm already with Suhe. Liu Wanrong smiled and then turned her head to her parents, saying. Dad, Mom, did you bring your household registration book with you today? Give it to me, I need to go with Suhe to get the certificate now. Before Liu Wanrong left, she already knew that Suhe was going to propose to her sister Liu Wanru today. After Liu Tiancheng and his wife successfully proposed to Suhe, their 2 children were able to obtain the certificate on the spot and brought out their household registration book. Originally, Liu Tiancheng was thinking that his eldest daughter would reject Suhe, so he couldn't use his household registration anymore. Who would have thought that the road would turn and my youngest daughter would marry Suhe? At this moment, Liu Tiancheng and his wife were still a bit confused. It was only after hearing their youngest daughter's words that they realized it. Oh, right. I brought my household registration book. As Bai Yuegoe spoke, she took out a red household registration book from her bag and handed it to her little daughter. At the same time, a smile appeared on her face. Wanrong, your brother Suhe is a good person. If your sister doesn't know how to cherish her, it's okay. Don't let him down. It would be a pity to miss such a good person. After Bai Weiguo finished speaking, Liu Tiancheng immediately agreed. Yeah, Wanrong, both your parents support you. Liu Tiancheng and Bai Weiguo have long regarded Suhe as their son.in.law. Since I can't be a son.in.law, I can also be a son.in.law. Anyway, the youngest daughter has also reached adulthood and is already over 20. Although college students have not yet graduated, legally speaking, they are also allowed to get married. The eldest son.in.law is the son.in.law, and the youngest son.in.law is also the son.in.law. As long as the son.in.law is still Suhe, then there is no problem. Parents, don't worry, I will definitely cherish my relationship with Suhe. Liu Wanrong nodded vigorously and continued. Without delay, let's go get the certificate first. Suhe, did you bring your household registration book? As Liu Wanrong spoke, she playfully blinked at Suhe. Oh, I brought it. Suhe said in a daze. His household registration book did indeed include it, which was also the intention of Liu's parents, in order to obtain the marriage certificate as soon as possible after the successful proposal. Having a marriage certificate is a legally recognized legal couple, and it's too late to regret it. Well, let's go then. Okay. Mom and Dad, sister, let's go. Goodbye. Uncle and aunt, let's go first. After the two of them finished greeting, they held hands and left, leaving only Liu's father, Liu's mother, and Liu Wanru, who were still somewhat at a loss. After seeing her boyfriend and sister leave together, Liu Wanru finally reacted completely and threw herself into her father's arms, crying loudly. Sigh. Liu Tiancheng sighed. He wanted to comfort his eldest daughter, but he didn't know how to comfort her. The pain caused by her daughter herself can only be swallowed by her own. On the other side, Suhe and Liu Wanrong quickly arrived at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Hongyan flies high, while orioles sing in the willows. Today is obviously a good day. Wanrong, do you really want to go with me to collect the certificate? Arriving at the door, Suhe hesitated instead. What he was most worried about was that Liu Wanru was just a momentary impulse. Girls at this age are the easiest to be emotional. Of course. Suhe, I really like you and want to spend the rest of my life with you. Are you not afraid that I was only with you in a fit of anger? Not afraid. As long as I can be with you, even if you don't have me in your heart, it doesn't matter. Moreover, I believe that one day, you will only have me in your heart. The two of them walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau, took a number in the hall, and then sat in line. About 20 minutes later, it was their turn. Next is taking photos, registering, obtaining certificates, and taking oaths, all in one go. Sister, thank you for your hard work. This is the wedding candy we treat you to. After the oath was taken, Suhe took out 2 boxes of candy and presented them to the staff. Thank you. Wishing you both 100 years of good marriage and an early birth to your esteemed son. The staff also showed a smile on their face. They are also very happy to meet such a sensible newcomer. Shitang is not expensive, but it is a blessing and a sign of respect. Thank you for your blessings. The two of them took their marriage certificates and left the Civil Affairs Bureau holding hands. The originally dark sky suddenly dissipated due to the appearance of the two of them. A warm beam of sunshine shone right on their faces. Mr. Su, for the rest of your life, please give me more guidance. Liu Wanrong spread her teeth and smiled, her smile full of happiness. Miss Liu, spend the rest of your life teaching me. Suhe raised his hand and gently combed the small hair in front of Liu Wanrong's forehead behind her head, revealing her rosy and fair face. Chapter 4. First Hug. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suhe. Liu Wanrong called out in a low voice. Suhe lowered his head and looked curiously at Liu Wanrong. At this moment, Liu Wanrong suddenly tiptoed up and took a strong bite on Suhe's mouth. Wanrong, you. Suhe was somewhat surprised, but at the same time, he looked around with his head up. Fortunately, the people around were in a hurry and no one noticed them. This relieved Suhe. Humph, Suhe, you're my husband now. What are you still afraid of? Liu Wanrong let out a coquettish snort, and at the same time, she hooked Suhe's neck even harder, as if swearing in sovereignty. Afraid? What do I have to fear? My lawful wife is the one who kisses me, fair and upright and righteous. Suhe smiled and actively embraced Liu Wanrong's slender waist. This is his first true embrace of Liu Wanrong. There is still a big difference between Liu Wanrong and her sister Liu Wanru. Although they are sisters, they are of the same stature and appearance. But Liu Wanru is usually quiet and doesn't really enjoy exercising. Although her figure is good, it is more due to dietary control. So, holding Liu Wanru feels like holding a piece of cotton candy, soft. But younger sister Liu Wanrong is different. Liu Wanrong has a lively personality and enjoys exercising regularly. She can clearly feel the waistline on her body. Holding her, I felt like I had become more energetic. Moreover, Liu Wanrong is very thin in the areas where she should be thin, and there is also a lot of meat in the areas where there should be meat. This 1-in-a-million physique is called Biao Body Buddha. Hee hee. Suhe, you have finally become my man, Liu Wanrong. I've been thinking about you for many years. Can I call you husband? Liu Wanrong lay in Suhe's arms, blushing as she looked up at the man she had loved deeply for many years. Of course you can. Wife. Suhe doted and touched Liu Wanrong's little head, and suddenly a strange smile appeared on her face. However, can you still call me brother in the future? Suhe lowered his head and asked with a smile as he looked at Liu Wanrong. Why? Liu Wanrong's big eyes were full of doubts. Because it's very exciting. Oh my goodness. So you're such a brother. Is that your name? Shout. My husband and brother, my wife and sister. Mamoda. Husband, are we going home to have a wedding next? Puff. Liu Wanrong's words almost made Suhe spew out a mouthful of old blood. Is this little girl too bold? They have been together for less than an hour. Although the marriage certificate has been obtained, they are already legally allowed couples. But if we want to get married now, isn't it too fast? Don't you need to cultivate a relationship for 2 or 3 weeks first? What's wrong, brother? Did you feel wronged when we had our wedding together? As Liu Wanrong spoke, she looked at Suhe with seductive eyes. Good guy. Suhe exclaimed, good guy. This little girl is naturally seductive. Why didn't you notice it before? Who can withstand such a spoiled girl like this? Cough cough, Sister Wanrong, let's talk about it when we go home. Now, let me take you to buy a diamond ring first. Just now, Suhe had a rough understanding of the functions of the newly bound consumer binding system while waiting in line to receive the certificate. The function is actually very simple and not complicated. As long as you buy something for Liu Wanrong, you can get a certain percentage of cash back no matter what you buy. Some are 1.2.1, for example, if you spend 10,000 yuan, you will be refunded 10,000 yuan. Some are 1.2.10, for example, if you spend 10,000, you will receive a refund of 100,000. Of course, 1 to 10 is the maximum limit, and at most, it can be cashed back 10 times. It doesn't seem like much, but if Suhe buys a villa worth 10 million yuan for Liu Wanrong at once and triggers a 1 to 10 cashback, he can get 1 billion yuan in cash. This is 1 billion. Don't think that modern people are already wealthy, so they don't take 1 billion yuan seriously. In fact, 1 billion yuan is already money that ordinary people may not be able to earn for 1,000 years. This is definitely an astronomical number. Of course, this is just Suhe's fantasy. He doesn't have 10 million yuan on hand now, and he can't afford a villa. However, with the system, all of this is no longer a fantasy. One day, he will not only have 10 million, but also countless 10 million. Buy a diamond ring. Brother, don't spend so much money. I'm not interested in things like diamond rings either. Liu Wanrong shook her head and immediately refused. She is different from ordinary girls, she doesn't care about things like diamond rings, luxury cars, and luxury homes. As long as we can be together with Suhe, it doesn't matter if we live a simple life together. I mentioned earlier that I will buy you a bigger and better diamond ring. I always have something to say and do what I say. Suhe picked up Liu Wanrong's pretty face and looked at her pair of fox eyes seriously. His eyes suddenly lowered, causing the latter to blush slightly. Then we don't need to buy too good. Liu Wanrong pouted, with a delicate and adorable appearance. Okay. Don't buy expensive ones. That's weird. Suhe whispered to himself. With the system in hand, Suhe can certainly afford to buy as expensive as possible. If there is a system, don't use it. Thunder strikes in the sky. Half an hour later, Suhe and Liu Wanrong arrived at the jewelry store. Ah! I only bought this ring a week ago and spent over 20,000 yuan. Now recycling can only charge 3,000 yuan. Are you joking with me? Suhe looked at the staff of the jewelry store with an incredulous expression on his face. More than 20,000 things, after a week, only 3,000 can be recycled. Is this too absurd? The speed at which stocks fall daily is not as fast as the depreciation of diamond rings. Sorry, Mr. Su. According to our store's recycling price, this diamond ring can only be returned for 3,000 yuan. The staff wore a professional smile on their faces, with a tone that was neither humble nor overbearing, unaffected by Suhe's words. In fact, the salesperson can't be blamed for the large price contrast, it's just a scam like diamonds. If it were natural diamonds, it would be better, even if the price fell, it wouldn't be so outrageous. But almost all the cheap diamonds on the market are artificial diamonds. The value of artificial diamonds is naturally not comparable to natural diamonds, and it is understandable that there has been a sharp decline. Moreover, there are really many reserves of diamonds, but they have not been mined. The reason why Suhe's diamond ring can still sell for 3,000 yuan is because the ring body is made of lottery money. Lottery contains 75% gold, which is also the most valuable point. If it weren't for this gold, I'm afraid this diamond ring would only be able to recover a few hundred yuan. Chapter 5. A wife who is not a bad wife is not a good wife. You are listening at novel.full.audio. Okay, then recycle it. Suhe didn't say anything more. Even the smallest mosquito is still meat. This proposal ring is definitely not needed anymore. He wouldn't wear this used ring on Liu Wanrong's hand. However, being around would make both Suhe and Liu Wanrong feel uncomfortable. After comprehensive consideration, it's better to sell it directly. The most important thing is that Suhe wants to buy a ring for Liu Wanrong, on the one hand to compensate her. On the other hand, I also want to test the functionality of the system. However, he only had over 20,000 yuan in total, which was all his savings. These 20,000 yuan were saved by Suhe's part-time job during his 4 years in college. He originally planned to give them all to Liu Wanru as a dowry after marrying her. But now, it's not necessary anymore. Okay, sir, I'll issue the invoice for you now. The staff smiled slightly and took the ring for a professional technician to inspect it. After confirming that there were no issues, they settled 3,000 yuan for Suhe on the spot. With these 3,000 yuan, Suhe has nearly 30,000 yuan in his account. Although you can't buy a good diamond ring for 30,000 yuan, you can still buy hardware and other items. Then, Suhe brought Liu Wanrong to a new gold shop. That gold shop just now was really a pit, and Suhe wouldn't choose it either. Brother, should we buy diamond rings? They're too expensive. Liu Wanrong grabbed Suhe's arm, frowned slightly, and said seriously. Moreover, I am still a college student and wearing a diamond ring in my hand is not suitable. It's okay, let's take a look first. What if there's something you like? After Suhe finished speaking, he directly pulled Liu Wanrong into the gold shop. Immediately afterwards, he began to pick and choose. Gold shops have gold jewelry and diamond rings. Suhe first selected a gold necklace for Liu Wanrong to try on. The price of a gold necklace is not expensive, just over 5,000 yuan. Don't think that only a big brother can wear a gold necklace. In fact, a girl with snow-white skin looks very beautiful wearing a gold necklace. Of course, this gold necklace is not the kind of thick chain, and it doesn't look good on girls wearing thick chains either. This type of gold chain itself is thin, but the workmanship is very exquisite, and there is also a hard gold pendant in the shape of a small sheep on top. Liu Wanrong's zodiac sign is Wei Yang, and the animal on this pendant perfectly matches her zodiac sign. It looks really nice. We'll take this necklace and pay for it. Before Liu Wanrong could object, Suhe paid directly to buy the necklace. Ding! Daxia Bank's expenditure is 5,300.00, with a balance of 24,500.00. After the payment was completed, Suhe's bank card received a text message prompt. Next, let's see how the system cashed him back. In Suhe's anticipation, a crisp and pleasant voice echoed in his mind simultaneously. Ding! The host spends 5,300 yuan as a soul mate, triggering a double cashback. The cashback amount will be directly deposited into the consumption account. All consumption amounts come from overseas financial markets, which are safe and reliable, and the host can rest assured. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The first use of the consumption cashback function triggers a single 10-fold cashback reward. In the next round of consumption, the host can receive 10-fold cashback. Ding! Congratulations to the host, completing the first round of consumption and rewarding beginners with a big gift package. The gift package has been sent, and the host can choose any time and place to open it. A series of sounds echoed in Suhe's mind, like heavenly sounds, particularly pleasing to the ear. Immediately after, Suhe's bank card received a deposit of 5,300 yuan in funds. Meanwhile, the bank card balance has also returned to 29,800 yuan. Moreover, more importantly, it triggers a newbie reward. A single 10-fold cashback, as long as Suhe consumes the next time, he can get a 10-fold cashback. He currently has a total of 29,800 in his hands, and after 10 times cashing back, he has nearly 300,000, directly entering a moderately prosperous society. In addition, there is also a beginner's gift package. However, Suhe was not in a hurry to open the big gift package, and there was still time to see it when he returned home. After paying for the necklace, the staff at the gold shop took off the label on Liu Wanrong's necklace, and then Suhe personally put the necklace on her. Does it look good? Liu Wanrong touched the little mianyang on the necklace and looked at her husband eagerly. This is the first gift she received as Suhe's wife, and of course she was happy. Good looking. Only you deserve this necklace. Suhe smiled and then pointed to the bracelet and earrings he had just tried on the table, saying to the staff at the gold shop. Sister, I'll take these bracelets and earrings too. Suhe did not inquire about Liu Wanrong's opinion. When he was just trying it on, he saw that Liu Wanrong liked the style of these bracelets and earrings very much. However, these two types of jewelry add up to over 20,000 yuan and are not cheap. After trying it on, Liu Wanrong put it down directly and ultimately only chose one necklace. Now that there is a 10-fold cashback, Suhe naturally cannot miss this opportunity to make a fortune. After having a cashback system for consumption, what he needs to do is to teach Liu Wanrong how to be a spendthrift. A wife who won't be a spendthrift is not a good wife. Okay, sir. The staff's smile grew even stronger when they heard that Suhe was going to continue his consumption. The more customers buy, the more commission they receive. As for how many more orders to make. Is this completely okay? Writing a few more words can earn money, who wouldn't want to? This is much easier than some novel authors working hard to earn money by coding characters. Husband, don't worry, these two are too expensive. Seeing that the staff was going to issue an order, Liu Wanrong quickly spoke up to stop her husband. My husband has just graduated from college, and he must be very nervous about his money. He shouldn't have spent so much on her. Liu Wanrong knows how to empathize with her husband. In the past 4 years, Suhe's appearance outside, enjoying meals and sleeping outdoors, was all in the eyes of Liu Wanrong. Every penny they spent during their school years was earned by Suhe through part-time work in his spare time. Knowing that money is hard-won, Liu Wanrong naturally won't squander it recklessly, which is also a kind of understanding that a wife should have towards her husband. Wife, it's not expensive. When we get married, hardware must be prepared. Suhe waved his hand and gestured for the staff to proceed with the order. Liu Wanrong couldn't stop her newlywed husband, so she had to let him go. And I bought gold jewelry, even if I don't want it anymore, I can still exchange money. Gold is the most valuable asset and may even appreciate in value. Buying gold is always cost-effective. Soon, the order was ready. A pair of gold bracelets weighing 60 grams and a pair of earrings weighing 5 grams, totaling 32,500 yuan, exceeds Suhe's bank deposit. However, Jinjian happens to be holding an anniversary celebration, and all accessories are discounted by 10%. After the discount, it only costs 29,250 yuan. Another 50 cents were wiped out, and only 29,200 yuan needed to be paid, which happened to be similar to Suhe's savings. Chapter 6. Once sadly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suhe took out his bank card and, without blushing or panting, directly swiped the card to pay the full amount. Ding! Your Daxia bank card has an expenditure of 29,200.00, leaving a balance of 600.00. Ding! Detected that the host is consuming as a soul mate, triggering a 10-fold cashback. Ding! Your Daxia bank card has a revenue of 292,000.00 and a balance of 292,600.00. Good guy. Seeing the bank balance, Suhe was so excited that he almost jumped up in place. In just a little while, his bank deposit is approaching 300,000. 300,000, this is not a small amount. Over the past 4 years, Suhe has earned over 200,000 yuan by delivering takeout during his spare time and weekends. After deducting the living expenses, tuition fees, and his daily expenses for the 2 girls, there are only tens of thousands of yuan left. But just now, in such a short period of time, he spent 4 years of college without making any money. The system is truly a powerful system. However, now is not the time to be happy. It's not too late to be happy again when you go home. Back home, there is still a beginner gift package waiting for him. After the payment was completed, the waiter immediately happily packed the package for Suhe. Then, under the respectful gaze of the waiter, the two of them left the gold shop. Originally, Suhe was thinking of buying a few more bags for Liu Wanrong and changing into branded clothes. His current savings are enough to go shopping at luxury stores like LV and Chanel. However, these proposals were strongly rejected by Liu Wanrong. I have already spent over 30,000 yuan on gold jewelry today. Even if it's for wedding arrangements, it's almost enough. They are just ordinary families, not wealthy families, and getting married doesn't require LV or Chanel to support their appearance. Seeing her so reserved, Suhe could only sigh and took her home. Haste makes waste. It's not something that can be done in a day or two to transform a petite wife into a spendthrift. Step by step, take your time. On the way home, Liu Wanrong originally wanted to take the subway, but was refused by Suhe because it was inconvenient to carry valuable items and she took a taxi directly. Suhe just asked the system, as long as it's money spent together with Liu Wanrong, they can get cash back. Since that's the case, he must have chosen to take a taxi. Although taking a taxi may cause traffic congestion, at least the car is quiet and comfortable to lean against. How comfortable is it? And you can also get cash back, isn't it more fragrant than taking the subway? Soon, the car arrived at its destination. This is an old-fashioned community without even an elevator, and it was also the love nest of Suhe and Liu Wanrong. When I was in my senior year, it was inconvenient to live on campus because I had to intern. So Suhe rented such a house. Although the place is a bit remote and the community is a bit outdated, fortunately it is relatively close to the subway station, making commuting very convenient. Suhe rents one room and one living room, which costs around 3,000 yuan per month. However, he usually interns during the day and delivers takeout at night, earning over 10,000 yuan per month, which is completely affordable. Although the houses outside the community are a bit old, the interior decoration is still good. Initially, Suhe rented this place because it was a well-decorated house. Returning here, Suhe is still very emotional. After breaking up with Liu Wanru in his previous life, he fell into despair. And because going home would make his mother worried, he continued to rent the house here. However, although the house is here, the beautiful woman has already left and continues to live here, it only adds to Suhe's troubles. Finally, Suhe was forced to leave from here. Because he can no longer afford to rent a house here. Later, Suhe returned to his old business, delivering takeout and renting a new basement. The environment in the basement cannot be compared to here. Moreover, he also spends 3 days fishing and 2 days sunbathing. I thought I would never come back here again in my life, but I didn't expect that God would finally allow him to be reborn and return to this touching place. Liu Wanrong is not the first to come here. In the past, on weekends, she would come here to help tidy up the rooms for her sister and brother.in.law. She is still a college student and cannot help her brother.in.law with money, so she can only share some of these small things with her brother.in.law. However, by coming here again today, Liu Wanrong's mentality has completely changed. Husband, help me find a few luggage bags and I'll pack all my sister's things. Let's take them back together tomorrow. As soon as she walked into the room, Liu Wanrong immediately became busy. There are many things left by my sister in this room, such as plush toys, daily clothes, and so on. Now that she, Liu Wanrong, is the mistress of this room, she naturally does not allow anything belonging to any other woman, even if she is her own sister. Okay. Let me help you. As Suhe spoke, he found several luggage bags and helped his wife pack them together. My ex-girlfriend didn't have too much left here, except for clothes, which were quickly packed up. However, when Liu Wanrong started packing her clothes, she casually opened the drawer containing her underwear and socks, and her pretty face turned red when she saw what was inside. There are 2 drawers full, all of various strange and shapely close-fitting clothes, as well as a drawer of colorful stockings. These things don't seem like they can be worn outside at all, they're more like they're worn alone in a private setting like a room. In addition, there are also some unopened boxed small balloons, 3 in one box, totaling 10 boxes. They are all adults now, and Liu Wanrong can easily guess the purpose of these clothes and small balloons. I didn't expect that on the surface, my sister looked quiet and gentle, but secretly she was playing so much with brother Suhe. Liu Wanrong flattened her mouth as she looked at the drawers full of clothes. However, if brother Suhe likes it, I can do it too. Through the collar of her top, Liu Wanrong glanced at the white Pikachu patterned clothes she was wearing next to her, and suddenly had an idea. She casually packed the worn close-fitting clothes and stockings, while also leaving behind a few unopened, disposable close-fitting clothes and stockings. By the way, she stuffed 200 yuan into a pair of socks, just like buying these new clothes from her sister. They are all disposable and not expensive. 200 yuan is enough. Starting from today, she will bid farewell to white and march towards colorful colors. After packing up these things, it's time for dinner. Suhe originally wanted to go out to eat at the Michelin 3-star restaurant, but he could also return. But Liu Wanrong immediately refused and took Suhe to the market to buy a lot of vegetables. She wanted to personally cook a big meal for Suhe. Suhe readily agreed to this. Liu Wanrong's cooking skills are very good, which is much worse than her sister Liu Wanru's. When Suhe is usually with Liu Wanru, either Suhe cooks or orders takeout. Only on weekends, when Liu Wanrong comes over from school to help, can Suhe have a home-cooked meal made by others. Liu Wanrong made 4 dishes and 1 soup, and also thoughtfully lit red candles and opened red wine. Of course, Suhe was not idle throughout the entire journey and was always playing tricks on Liu Wanrong. This feeling makes Suhe very comfortable. It turns out that cooking can also be assisted by 2 people together. These things are all bought from supermarkets, not expensive, but after using them, they add a lot of romance. Husband. The food is ready and the wine is ready. Go wash your hands and eat now. Chapter 7. Novice Gift Pack. You are listening at novel.full.audio. Liu Wanrong brought the last soup to the table and shouted at Suhe with a smile on her face. Wow, it's so abundant. My wife is working hard. Looking at the table of delicious food, Suhe couldn't help but be moved. It is truly fortunate to have a wife like Liu Wanrong. Hehe, it's not hard. I'm glad to be able to cook for my husband. Liu Wanrong gave a sweet smile. She doesn't have many big dreams in her life, her only dream is probably to wash her hands and make soup for you. It is also a very happy thing to be able to make a sumptuous dinner for the person you love the most, and watch him sweating profusely. Then I'll get started. Suhe clapped his hands and picked up chopsticks, ready to take action. Wait for my husband, let's take a photo first. As Liu Wanrong spoke, she took out her phone and also took out her marriage certificate. Suhe instantly understood his wife's meaning. Since we are married, we must officially announce his wife, Liu Wanrong, to our friends and family. After taking several beautiful photos, Liu Wanrong beautified herself and then forwarded them to Suhe. Suhe glanced at the photo, and there was no difference between Liu Wanrong in the photo and the one in reality. Belonging to this age, she has a fair and smooth face, delicate facial features, beautiful black hair, and a pretty face without makeup. Even without PS beauty, she is still the most beautiful. Husband, I'm going to post an official announcement on my social media. Do you want to post it? Liu Wanrong smiled and raised her phone, gesturing towards Su River. Of course. Suhe didn't hesitate and immediately agreed. Then, after editing a copy respectively, they sent the marriage certificate with their ID card number printed in a mosaic to the circle of friends. After posting on social media, I casually threw my phone aside and started their first date, which was also their first romantic red candle dinner. At the same time, when Liu Wanru returned home, she immediately locked herself in her room and didn't even come out to eat dinner. Mr. and Mrs. Liu Tiancheng called out once but didn't come out, so they went with their daughter on their own. They are actually a bit unhappy in their hearts, and at the same time, they are also a bit worried. I am not happy because my daughter rejected Suhe's proposal and even initiated a breakup, which resulted in letting down such a good man's 4-year relationship. Worried, it's because they're worried that their daughter will go astray and become the kind of materialistic woman online who will do anything for money. This kind of thing is already showing signs, so the old couple is so worried. Once you take the wrong path, there is no possibility of turning back. After Liu Wanru returned to her room, she had been browsing her social media aimlessly. She didn't know what she was browsing, so she never saw the message she wanted to see. Around dinner time, Liu Wanru finally saw the two social circles she wanted to see. The official announcement of Suhe and Liu Wanrong. Two marriage certificates, with Suhe and Liu Wanrong wearing white shirts on them. Liu Wanrong leaned against the shoulder of Su River, with a smile like a flower. Suhe held Liu Wanrong in one hand and placed her upright on his thigh in the other, with a bright smile on his face. Just a glance makes people feel a strong sense of happiness. Liu Wanru tightly gripped her phone with one hand and clenched her fist with the other. Her slender fingers made several deep marks on her palm, and tears streamed down her cheeks. Originally, it should be she who was held in Suhe's arms. After hesitating for a moment, Liu Wanrong still sent a message to Suhe. "Are you really married?" After sending the message, Liu Wanru stared at her phone and started to daydream. However, her message was like a stone falling into the sea and she did not receive any response. Fong borrowed the beauty of flowers to add moonlight, and joyfully made spring evenings on autumn nights. Perhaps, the two of them are tumultuous, unaware of what heaven and earth are. Liu Wanru has a deep feeling about Suhe's physical condition. I'm afraid Suhe won't reply to him in less than an hour. On this side, after Suhe and Liu Wanrong finished their meal, the latter took the initiative to tidy up the kitchen. Suhe tidied up the living room and then extracted the newbie gift package gifted by the system. Open the beginner's gift pack. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a bottle of gene potion. Genetic drugs can significantly improve all functions of the host's body, including physical strength, intelligence, and endurance. The process of genetic drug modification is quite dynamic. Please choose a quiet environment for the host to carry out. After taking genetic drugs for body strengthening, it can prevent all kinds of toxins from invading and eliminate all kinds of diseases. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained a chance to trigger a 5-fold consumption rebate in a single transaction. Next time you make a purchase, you can directly get a 5-fold cashback. Good guy. Upon hearing the sound of the system, Suhe exclaimed, "Good guy." Although the beginner gift pack only has 2 rewards, both of them are excellent. Firstly, genetic drugs can significantly improve all human functions. Improving all physical skills on a large scale means that as long as Suhe swallows the genetic potion, both physical strength, intelligence, and endurance can be greatly improved. And I won't get sick again in the future. What is the concept of being invincible to all poisons? That's just nuclear wastewater, it doesn't matter if you drink it as a beverage. As for the 5-fold cashback, that's not to mention. After a day of consumption, Suhe roughly figured out the system's cashback routine. The higher the cashback ratio, the lower the probability of triggering. Today, whether it's taking a taxi, buying groceries, or shopping at a supermarket, the most triggered cashback in Suhe is twice, and only once has it been triggered 3 times. It's already difficult to trigger 5-fold. And this time, the system directly sent 5 times the cash back. Suhe only needs to spend all his 300,000 savings on the next consumption, and then he can get 5 times the cash back. After the cash back, there is a whopping 1.5 million yuan. In an instant, Suhe could become a millionaire. Although the system did not directly send him money, it gave him a 5-fold cashback, which is no different from sending money. Then, Suhe's mind moved, and a small bottle of gene drug packaged in a test tube suddenly appeared in his hand. The liquid inside the genetic drug is green and doesn't look like something good. However, Suhe did not doubt the efficacy of the medicine. The things given by the system won't harm him, will they? Thinking of this, Suhe immediately slipped into the bathroom with a genetic potion. The system says they need to find a quiet place, and the only quiet place in their home is the bathroom. In order not to be disturbed, Suhe slipped into the bathroom and locked the door behind his back, then took out the gene potion. System, can I just open this thing and drink it directly? Suhe asked curiously. His system is obviously an intelligent system, although it is usually quite cold and doesn't come out to chat with him. But if there are any issues, we will also reply. Yes, the host. After drinking the genetic drug, it will take about 1 minute to take effect. The modification will last for 10 minutes without any discomfort. Please rest assured to use it. It is recommended that the host undress and stand in the shower. During the renovation period, impurities will be eliminated and can be rinsed at any time. Okay. Suhe didn't hesitate, opened the test tube plug, looked up and took a sip of the gene potion. The medicine is not difficult to drink, and there is no special taste, just like ordinary mineral water. However, drinking it into the stomach is warm and refreshing. After about a minute, the medicine began to take effect. Chapter 8. Great Changes. You are listening at novel.full.audio. Firstly, Suhe felt that every pore of his skin began to permeate with fine black dirt, which was the impurities accumulated by Suhe's environment and diet from childhood to adulthood. Accompanied by the discharge of impurities, various joints of the Su River bone also emitted crackling and tartling sounds. As if all the bones were broken and reassembled again. In fact, it is also true that genetic drugs are strengthening all the functions of Suhe's body, including bones. However, it is unknown whether it is due to the analgesic effect of genetic drugs, and Suhe did not feel any pain from beginning to end. On the contrary, my whole body feels warm and comfortable. The only discomfort is probably the soreness in the teeth and the impurities constantly secreted from the skin surface. Especially impurities, sticking to the body with a sticky and unpleasant odor, make people feel very uncomfortable. No wonder the system suggested that he drink medicine in the bathroom. If he were outside, he would have to suffocate him. The crackling sound of bone joints lasted for 7 or 8 minutes before it ended. After another 3 minutes, Suhe turned on the faucet and began cleaning the impurities on his body surface. 10 minutes later, Suhe finally finished cleaning the impurities on his body surface, and also washed his head. When Suhe stood in front of the mirror in the bathroom, looking at himself in the mirror, he was stunned. The Su River in the mirror is still the same Su River, but his facial features have become more harmonious. Suhe's appearance is already very high, even if he's not a school grade, he can still be a minor. However, although his facial features are all very attractive, there is still a gap in the perfect arrangement. After genetic modification, the distribution of Su River's facial features is now perfect, with each organ growing in its rightful position. In the past, Su River was just a grass system, but now it is a school grass system. Besides facial features, it's Suhe's physique. Suhe's original figure was also quite good. Although he didn't have 8-pack abs, his physique was still very sturdy because he delivered takeout all year round during his 4 years in college, and he didn't have a small belly. But now, Suhe's figure has become even more perfect, with 8 neatly arranged abdominal muscles on his stomach, looking both robust and sexy. In addition to the abdominal muscles, there are also clear muscles on the arms and calves. Moreover, it is not the kind of exaggerated protein accumulation that creates muscular fitness, but rather a very symmetrical and explosive muscle. Suhe swung his fist vigorously, with a clear and audible sound. Now, his fist power is definitely comparable to those world champions, and even stronger. Besides muscles, it's just height. Standing in front of Liu Wanrong, who was only 1.78 meters tall, she was slightly taller. If Liu Wanrong wears high heels, the two of them will look almost tall. However, now Suhe's height has directly increased by 4 centimeters, reaching 1.82 meters. A height of 1.82 meters is definitely considered tall, with a pair of long legs that can be popular among countless young girls. Don't think that only men like women's long legs, in fact, women also like men's long legs. Suddenly growing 4 centimeters tall, it wouldn't be particularly noticeable. After all, Suhe was originally 1.78 meters tall, which can be considered quite tall. The most obvious change after height is Suhe's skin. Delivering food is a very hard job, exposed to the wind and sun all year round, even if it is well protected, it will still be affected. But now, Suhe's skin is all bronze, crystal clear, like a freshly shelled chicken cub. Now his skin is even more tender than most 18-year-old girls, even Liu Wanrong would envy him. Finally, it's Suhe's big brother. Suhe is exceptionally talented, and in the past, he could have teamed up with his big brothers to fight for an hour. When he and Liu Wanru were practicing the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra, their surging internal strength, combined with their elder brothers, could achieve the desired effect every time. At that time, the older brothers were only 3 centimeters taller than the average, but now they have also risen in height by a full 5 centimeters, and their waist circumference has also increased significantly. It is very appropriate to describe it as terrifying. It's truly a genetic potion. Now, I should be able to describe myself as having a perfect physique, right? Looking at himself in the mirror, Suhe smiled with satisfaction. I don't know if Liu Wanrong can still recognize him after walking out of the bathroom in a while. With this thought in mind, Suhe put on his pajamas and walked out of the bathroom. At the same time, Liu Wanrong also tidied up the kitchen, and the two collided head-on. Ah. Wife, are you okay? Suhe was quick-witted and quickly picked up Liu Wanrong. No, it's okay. Liu Wanrong blushed and shook her head. She could clearly feel the hardness of her 9-pack abdominal muscles through Suhe's thin pajamas. That's right, it's a 9-pack abs. Although Liu Wanrong has already married Suhe, the two have not yet married. Prior to this, she had never had a boyfriend and was naturally extremely shy about matters between men and women. It's okay, it's okay. Suhe picked up Liu Wanrong's pretty face and smiled, smoothing her hair behind her ear. Meanwhile, Liu Wanrong also noticed that Su River seemed to be a bit different from before. It seems that he has become even more handsome. Old man, how did you become so handsome? Liu Wanrong asked subconsciously. Not only did he become handsome, but he also seemed to have grown taller. Hee, I've always been so handsome. I just become even more handsome after taking a shower. Wife, you've been tired all day too. Go take a shower now. Suhe looked up and gave a haha, directly changing the topic. Aha. Husband, wait for me, don't fall asleep. At night, I want to touch your 9-pack abs. Liu Wanrong let out a playful laugh, and with courage, she reached out and directly touched Suhe's 9 abdominal muscles. In an instant, her pretty face turned red. Are these abdominal muscles too hard and too big? At the same time, she also envied her sister. Over the past 4 years, my sister must have been very happy. Suhe didn't expect Liu Wanrong to be so bold. Just as he wanted to further feel the feeling of Xiaonizi's weak and boneless little hand caressing her abdominal muscles, Xiaonizi chuckled lightly and turned around before rushing into the bathroom. This girl is really seductive. Suhe smiled bitterly and patted his abdominal muscles, then said. Good brother, you need to behave well later. As soon as Suhe walked into the bedroom, Liu Wanrong, who had already entered the bathroom, sneaked out and took 2 sets of clothes from the TV cabinet in the living room before quickly sneaking into the bathroom. Then, the sound of showering came from the bathroom. Any girl taking a shower is a long process. Suhe lay in bed and waited for a full 50 minutes. Just as he was about to fall asleep, Liu Wanrong pushed open the room door and walked in with a smile on her face. Husband, I've finished taking a shower. Hush. Seeing Liu Wanrong standing in front of her, Suhe instinctively took a cold breath. At this moment, his brain instantly became congested and stopped running. Even though Suhe's brain was enhanced through genetic drug modification, the scene before him was truly shocking, far exceeding his brain's ability to function. Chapter 9. I am here to resign. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Wanrong in front of her was wearing a JK uniform. There's nothing unusual about this. A little girl of her age is the perfect time to wear a JK uniform. Strangely, this is not an ordinary JK uniform, but a JK uniform that is only worn during special circumstances. The skirt is very short, directly covering the lower body. The shirt with short sleeves on top is the same, and it is very tight, showcasing Liu Wanrong's perfect figure to the fullest. In addition to the JK uniform, she is also wearing a pair of black silk stockings on her legs, with two red thin bands at the top of the stockings that connect to the bottom of the skirt. Red and black create a strong visual contrast. Most importantly, Liu Wanrong also wore a pair of ponytails. Double ponytail, synonymous with purity. Black silk, a charming spokesperson. The combination of the two can only be described in two words. Lying trough. JK uniform, black silk, double ponytails, all three moves are used together, taking people's lives. Even though Suhe has seen a lot and gained knowledge, he still feels a bit overwhelmed by being treated like this. Husband, do I look good? Liu Wanrong saw her husband's eyes staring straight, and a smile immediately appeared on her face. She then turned around in place, her skirt fluttering, allowing Suhe to see even more beautiful scenery. Okay, it looks good. Suhe swallowed his saliva and trembled as he spoke. Let's go to bed then. Aha. Husband, turn off the lights. No, I want to keep it on. Ah. Suhe hugged Liu Wanrong into his arms. Turn off the lights. What light is turned off? Turning off the lights doesn't mean you're blind in vain. Such beautiful clothes. Amidst Liu Wanrong's coquettish cries, the two finally began to cultivate the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra. The Jade Maiden Heart Sutra is the most profound martial art in the world. It requires both male and female cultivation to understand the true essence of martial arts. Suhe has long been the culmination of the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra, so he is naturally not unfamiliar. Under his guidance, Liu Wanrong quickly became familiar with this advanced martial arts technique. From being guided by Suhe at the beginning to practicing, to actively starting to practice later on. This night is destined to be an unsettled one. The next day, when Suhe woke up, it was already 9 o'clock in the morning. Last night, two people practiced the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra and it lasted until 1 o'clock in the morning. Suhe's genetically modified body is really powerful, as if it won't tire out. If it weren't for considering that Liu Wanrong was practicing the Jade Maiden Heart Sutra for the first time and worried that she might have gone crazy, she would probably have been able to continue practicing overnight at once. After waking up, Suhe instinctively touched his side, but he didn't touch anything. The beautiful woman around me, I don't know where she went. Just as Suhe was puzzled, the room door opened and a small head tiptoed in. Oh, husband, are you awake? Liu Wanrong clearly didn't expect that Suhe had already woken up, and was immediately startled. Wanrong, where did you go early in the morning? Suhe asked curiously. Today is Friday and the school has classes, but Liu Wanrong has no classes in the morning and doesn't need to go to school. Although it is already graduation season, Liu Wanrong is a junior student and it is not yet time for summer vacation. However, this is a good point for college students, as long as there are no classes, time is still very free. You can use your spare time to work part-time, or to intern or prepare for exams, and you can freely arrange it. Husband, I'll go buy breakfast for you now. Soybean milk, deep-fried dough sticks, steamed stuffed buns, get up and eat quickly. Breakfast. Suhe was stunned for a moment, and then he was moved. During his 4 years in college, his ex-girlfriend Liu Wanru never bought him breakfast once. Liu Wanru's stomach is not good, and breakfast is a must-eat, but she also likes to stay up late, so every time Suhe buys breakfast and delivers it to the bedside. It was the first time that I could drink hot soybean milk, soft deep-fried dough sticks and meat buns filled with oil when I got up like today. The two sisters were born by the same mother. Why are their personalities so different? This is Suhe's first reaction. Then, he arrived at the restaurant and had breakfast. Wanrong, you've worked hard. You don't have to wake up early to buy breakfast in the future. You're also tired and need to rest. Last night, Suhe made a lot of trouble for Liu Wanrong. The first time I practiced, and after practicing for such a long time, I also need to rest. Husband, I don't work hard. I think it's worth doing these things for you. Liu Wanrong held her chin in both hands and shook her head lightly, looking at her husband with such deep affection. You're so kind, wife. Suhe reached out his hand and affectionately touched the little girl's little head. Having a wife like this, what can a husband ask for? After breakfast, Suhe sent Liu Wanrong to school. Liu Wanrong still has classes in the afternoon, so she can't be late. After sending his wife to school, Suhe came to the company. His sole purpose for coming to the company today is to resign. What other shifts do I need to work with the system in hand? If the system owner still has to work, he will be ridiculed by millions of system owners. Suhe and Liu Wanru work in the same company, both at Shanghai Investment Group. When he arrived, it was already almost 10:30 and it was already past the time to sign in for work. Suhe didn't mind either. After swiping his card into the company, he went straight to his own workstation. Hey, Xiaosu, why are you here? Didn't you take wedding leave? The young man across from Su River was obviously surprised to see Su River appear. Yesterday, after he obtained the certificate, the official announcement was made on his WeChat Moments that no one was blocked, so his colleagues could also see it. Ah! I didn't take leave, did I, Brother Liu, who helped me take leave? Suhe was stunned for a moment. He did not take leave because it was unnecessary. After receiving the system yesterday, he had already decided to resign. He is just an intern, and there is no such thing as resigning a month in advance. Just go through the formalities and leave. As for salary, if you want to give it, give it. If you don't give it, he's not inferior to those 3 melons and 2 dates. After having the system, Suhe's confidence has also changed. Liu usually takes good care of Suhe, so Suhe is also very polite when talking to him. Ah. So, Liu Wanru said you won't be taking wedding leave today. Liu Gu smiled and continued, but you can do it, you just graduated and got married. That little sister is also very beautiful, not inferior to Liu Wanru. I used to think you two were lovers. It is normal for everyone to speculate that Liu Wanru and Suhe entered the company together, and they are both from the same school and major. They are not official units, and there is no principle of family avoidance, even if the couple is in the same group, it is not a problem. However, the two have never publicly disclosed each other's identities at work. This is also Liu Wanru's request, she doesn't want to be discussed in the company. However, Suhe didn't expect that Liu Wanru would take a leave for him today. Brother Liu, you're joking. Suhe smiled and waved his hand. I'm not teasing you anymore. Since you're on leave, why are you still coming to the company? Even if you're here now, you're still late. Liu is obviously very fond of gossip. There are not many who have taken wedding leave and still come to work. I'm not here to work, I'm here to resign. I'm ready to leave. Suhe didn't hide anything, he said honestly. Chapter 10. Mother's Call. You are listening at novel.full.audio. Resignation. Liu was clearly taken aback. Shanghai Financial Investment Group is one of the top investment companies in Shanghai City, and many college graduates are eager to come in for internships but do not have this opportunity. Even if an intern is not left behind, having an internship experience at Gene2 Group can become a stepping stone to entering various financial investment companies. Being able to enter such a good company is like crossing a single plank bridge with thousands of troops, and there are very few interns who voluntarily resign after entering. Even if you really feel like you're out of work at the company, you will still bring your internship certificate after the internship ends before leaving. So, Liu was so surprised when he heard that Suhe was going to resign. Yeah, brother Liu, I may not be suitable for this job, so it's better to leave early. Suhe explained with a smile. Liu usually takes good care of him, so Suhe is also very polite to him. Okay, everyone has their own way to go. Good luck then. Liu Gu smiled slightly. The company is like this, with iron tents and flowing soldiers coming and going, and the habit is good, there is nothing to be sad about. Well, thank you very much, brother Liu, for taking care of me during this time. I'll go to HR and resign first. Once I'm done, I'll treat you to dinner. You're welcome. After a few pleasantries, Suhe went to the HR office to complete the resignation procedures. He is just an intern who has not signed a labor contract or paid 5 insurances and 1 fund. He can come and leave if he wants, without the need for 1 month's notice. However, Suhe performed very well during his internship, and the HR department offered to persuade him to stay. Although Jin2 Group has a large family and business, it still cherishes talents. However, Suhe ultimately refused. With a system in hand, working an extra day would result in earning millions less. How could he possibly waste his beautiful youth in the company? After resigning, Suhe walked out of the HR office and met Liu Wanru head-on. Liu Wanru was holding a cup of coffee in her hand, chatting and laughing with a man in a suit and leather shoes. There was no discomfort on her face, as if everything from yesterday had already been forgotten. This man Suhe knows, named Liu Xiaoyuan. He is his immediate superior to Liu Wanru and also the teacher responsible for leading their group of interns. Liu Xiaoyuan is considered a second-generation wealthy individual, with his home located in Shanghai and 2 properties in Shanghai. A set with an area of 180 square meters lives with their family of 3. The other set has 200 square meters and is currently idle. It is a wedding house prepared by his family for him. However, the 2 houses are not located in the inner ring of the city center, but in the central ring slightly outside. Although the housing prices in central are not as high as those in the inner ring, they are also very high. A 200 square meter house costs over 10 million yuan. Compared to someone like Suhe who doesn't even have a house, this person is indeed a second-generation wealthy person. As for why did Suhe know about these things? Of course, it was Liu Wanru who told him. On the 3rd day after Suhe and Liu Wanru entered the company, Liu Xiaoyuan began to indirectly pursue Liu Wanru. Pursuing is definitely about showcasing one's abilities. He himself has a good income in the company, with an annual salary of 400,000 to 500,000 yuan, and he also drives a BMW 5 Series. The BMW 5 Series is the ceiling of ordinary people. Liu Xiaoyuan is only 20.7 or 8 years old now, and his personal strength is beyond doubt to be able to start the 5 Series at this age. Suhe didn't pay much attention at first. He trusted Liu Wanru very much, even if he saw them walking very close, he just took it for granted that it was a work relationship. But now it seems that the relationship between the two is not simple. Suhe, why did you come to work? Didn't Wanru say you were married and took wedding leave? Liu Xiaoyuan looked a bit surprised when he saw the Su River. Liu Wanru beside her didn't say anything, just lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Su River. Manager Liu, I'm here to resign, I won't come in the future. Suhe said lightly. Resignation. Upon hearing these words, Liu Wanru suddenly lifted her head and looked at Suhe with an incredulous expression on her face. Suhe, are you crazy? You finally found a job at Jin2 Group. How could you resign just by saying you quit? And, since you just got married and resigned like this, how can you support your wife? Liu Wanru's pretty face turned red, as if she didn't believe Suhe would resign. This job is not easy to come by, and the income after becoming a full-time employee is also very objective, at least much higher than most graduates. Suhe just got married, and his wife is still a college student, which is when money is needed. Liu Wanru doesn't understand, where did Suhe have the courage to resign? You don't need to worry about it anymore. I have the ability to support my own wife. You still have to worry about yourself. There are over 20 interns in total, but only 2 can stay. This person, your abilities are not outstanding, so you may not be able to stay, right? Suhe glanced at Liu Wanru and said calmly. You. Suhe, I kindly advise you, why are you talking like that? Liu Wanru flattened her mouth. In the past, Suhe would never talk to her like this, even if she made a mistake, Suhe would actively admit it. A situation like today has never happened before. Suhe. Wanru is trying to persuade you. Is it appropriate for you to speak like this? I heard your family background is also average, right? Leaving Gene 2 may not necessarily lead to finding a better job, right? Liu Xiaoyuan frowned and looked at Suhe on the side. Moreover, I have seen Wanru's hard work and I will apply to the higher-ups to keep her. He felt that his opportunity had come, and at such times, he had to stand firmly by the side of the goddess. Previously, Liu Xiaoyuan knew that Liu Wanru and Suhe were walking very close, and he was worried about what might happen between the two. Now that Suhe has divorced and resigned, he is actually very happy. Thank you very much for Manager Liu's concern. However, I don't need you two to worry about my own affairs. The resignation procedures have been completed. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Even as an intern, there is no issue with work handover. After waving his hand, Suhe passed between the two and left without looking back. Watching Suhe's receding figure, Liu Wanru gritted her teeth hard and finally didn't speak to stop him. Since we have already broken up, let's be a passerby. After leaving the company, Suhe received a call from his mother Chenghui. Seeing his mother's call, Suhe's face also showed a smile. He is a single-parent family, and his father passed away unexpectedly when he was young. His mother raised him as both a father and a mother and sent him to college. Suhe once swore to be filial to his mother when he graduated. Hello, Mom, have you had lunch yet? Suhe picked up the phone and asked with a smile. Meanwhile, Suhe also felt a bit sad. In his past life, he was deeply immersed in so-called love and just walked away. He is sorry for his beloved Liu Wanrong, but he is even more sorry for this kind mother. Reviving his life, Suhe swore to compensate his mother well. You stinky kid, do you still think you have me as your mother? As soon as the phone was connected, a mother's angry voice came from the other end. Ah. What's wrong with Mom? Don't be angry at noon. Suhe is a bit confused. Mom, what's going on? Why are you so angry? You should know that Suhe has always been a good baby, always working hard in his studies, never letting his mother worry, and never letting her get angry because of it. However, upon hearing his mother's scolding, Suhe was still very happy. I thought I would never hear my mother's voice again. I'm asking you, why did you quit your job at Gene 2 Group? Do you know that it's the best company in Shanghai? After becoming a full-time employee, you start with an annual salary of 200,000 yuan.